What's up, everybody? How's it going today? In this video, I'm going to tackle the subject of, a couple different things. First off, I better get comfortable. First off, I wanted to... No, that doesn't work. See, now my back's good, but my butt hurts. Alright, good enough. The perspective that we have about people based on what we know about their lives. And I'll start off giving you the reason why this video came up. Sometimes I get an idea that pops into my head and I just have to cover it right away. So I was in the house and I was listening to a bunch of different DJ music and whatnot, and cleaning up a bit. And I turned on deadmau5. deadmau5 is one of my favorite DJs, you know. And I listened to, of course a lot of you probably don't even know who that is, and that's fine. So there's a whole variety of different electronic artists that I like. deadmau5 and, Excision, Infected Mushroom. There's a wide variety of different stuff. So as I turned on the song, the first thing that came to my mind was an interview that I'd seen with deadmau5 recently. And it was an interview partially in response to something that another DJ had said about him being arrogant or something of the sort. It didn't really matter. It was just a passing, video I watched once. But right away that brought a whole bunch of things into my mind about how we perceive artists based on what we know about their life. So, just to put it simply, I would say, try not to learn too much about the people that create the art that you enjoy. This is just, of course, my personal take on it. I've always felt this way about bands. When I was growing up, all my friends knew the names of the band members, everything from who they're married to, what they've done in their lives and different bands they've played in. And for some reason I was never that interested in it. It was like, I like to listen to the music, I don't mind knowing the names of the band members, but, I always knew all the members of Metallica, but then we have, most of the other metal bands that I listened to were just kind of like, I know the lead singer, but only because I hear it. And years later, we heard about this thing with Lars Ulrich. Of course, anybody who grew up during the Napster era knows, and anybody today also, knows that Lars Ulrich threw a little tissy fit about people downloading free music. And he never lived that down. To this day, he's been on, they made jokes on South Park about him, and every show you can imagine. For one thing, he stepped up and said, hey, we don't want people stealing our art and our music. I can agree and disagree with him. In the sense I agree, I wouldn't want people stealing my art or my music I worked hard on. On the other hand, you gotta roll with the times. The movie industry tried this. They went ballistic when VCRs came out. They said it was going to ruin television. It was going to ruin the movie industry, destroy it. And the same thing happened when cassette tapes came out, recordable cassette tapes. They said they're going to ruin the music industry. Everybody will copy tapes. Well, you just got to move with the times. And today, things are what they are. Sorry to get a little off track there, but the more I learn about the bands themselves, the more I learn about artists themselves in their life, the more likely I am to find something I disagree with. For example, there could be a phenomenal painter, and somebody could say, well, they find out that the person's an extreme, capitalist that cares nothing about the people, but he has phenomenal art, and that would taint the view of his art. So, to kind of, I guess, to get to the point here, which the point, of course, was not to know too much about people. Knowing too much about people that you've never met, okay, that's the key. However, I should also cover when it is important to know. Because it's not like we should just ignore people's personal lives or ignore the things that they do. Because if an artist has a poor set of values, then that is often reflected in the art itself. But if you have a song that you really like, and you've been listening to it for years, and then you find out it was, say, written by somebody you dislike a lot, or you find out that the song was even more, this is a different one, reading about what songs are really about. This is just as important to me. looking into the true stories of what songs really mean, that can be interesting if you're curious. But if you've grown up on that song and it means something to you, don't taint it with finding the truth. And that might sound like, to some people, like, why wouldn't you want to know the truth? Because the truth in this case doesn't matter. What matters is the emotion that's invoked when you hear the song. So it's one of the rare cases when less information truly is better, in my opinion. So I should also cover this base of politicians, people who run our companies, run businesses in this world, people who have an impact in society beyond just their art, people who have influence over other people. Those are the people that we should be curious about their lives, such as a presidential, let's say somebody who's running, a candidate that's running for president, and they might say, well, I don't want to release any of my tax returns, or I don't want to release any of my private information. And in a way, if you weren't running for office, then that would be fine. But once you put your neck out there and you want to represent the people want to dig in. They want to know what your true motives are. They want to know what your inner life is and your personal life, because you don't deserve to have any more secrets at that point. If you're looking to be a leader of the people, you have to be open to that. So, and I'm just throwing that in as an example of how I'm not saying that we should just not know anything about other people, because that's ludicrous. We have to know things about the people who influence us. But when it comes to art, we're only influenced by our own perceptions, and that can be tainted by knowing too much. Those are just my thoughts on that. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna go listen to some music.